Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Amanda Gold and I am recording on a new device which has a better camera, which means you can really see the textures of my face. It's like more high res and I'm kind of like, whoa, hello. But we're nothing if not authentic and real around here, so just try not to get distracted and lost in the glory of each individual pore. Okay, moving on. Hey, so today is the second episode in my Try It Tuesday series. So I'm presenting you with an idea or a coaching exercise or something you can use to manage your mind and be happier and deal with all the shit that life wants to throw at you. And on the theme of April, we've been dealing with noisy neighbors and the stress that comes with that. But first I want to check in with you around last week's challenge, which was to try 3 minutes of exposure therapy, basically, where I challenged you to, next time the noisy neighbors started up with their ruckus, instead of reacting or getting into your angry, whatever you do, retaliations, tantrums, whatever, I certainly had all those things, or if, ran away from it, or avoided it somehow, I suggested that you go set a timer, go to where it's the loudest actually, and just be with it, let the sounds wash over you, and just see what happens. So I would be very curious to hear how that went. I forgot to check my comments before I started this video, so I don't know if any of you have posted on that already, but if you haven't, scooch in there and let me know how that went for you. And now get ready for the second one. So, I wanted to share my experience with it. So when I recorded that video last week, I had shared that I had just tried it that day and I'd been doing it on my own, of course. But what I wanted to share too is this other sort of magical thing that happens. Like, the more I do this work, I know it's not magic, but also there is kind of an element of like, I wonder why that's working. I do believe in like the law of attraction and divine intervention and the universe and all these great things. And I've noticed like the more that I'm intentionally doing this work and engaging with this stuff, the neighbors are getting quieter. And I don't know if they're actually getting quieter, if I'm just not noticing it as much, but either way, this shit's working and I don't want to pick it apart and explain exactly why, but it's working. So trust that and keep on coming back and trying this stuff. Okay, so here's the new invitation. Here's the new Try It Tuesday. It's a writing exercise again. Actually, last one wasn't a writing exercise. I just have a lot of them and I have a lot of ideas for them. So I'm like, again with the writing. I do suggest it a lot. But it is the first writing exercise in the official Try It Tuesday series. Okay, so what I want you to do is, again, we're talking about noisy neighbors specifically. Those of you who know, and those of you who don't, or you can go back and see my other videos on this topic. And if you don't have an issue with noisy neighbors, hooray, I'm so jealous and happy for you. You can plug in, you can work with anything that drives you nuts, that basically robs you of your peace of mind, makes you act a fool, makes you behave in ways you don't want to act, or think things that you don't want to think, or feel things that you don't want to feel. So sure, there's a situation that you can substitute for noisy neighbors. Maybe it's traffic, or dogs crapping on the sidewalk, or mouth breathers, whatever. Pick one. And what I want you to do is write down everything that you hate about them or the situation. Get vicious, get petty, get nasty, just let it all out. And don't judge yourself for it, okay? There is a part of you that's thinking the shit and you need to let it out and look at it. So for me, like an example is, I hate my neighbors because they are loud party bros who don't give a shit about anyone else, and they have lots of people over, and I could go on. I don't want you to censor yourself or edit yourself though. Just let it all out, okay? Now, we're gonna look at this from two different angles, or like you can use this initial dump of what you hate about them, and we're gonna take it two different ways to pull two different nuggets of goodness out of this situation. So first, your first go with this, after you've got all the bleh down on the page, can you put aside all your judgments and feelings and see where these people that you just said all this hateful, nasty shit about, could you challenge yourself to put all that aside and just see where they might actually have qualities that you admire? Now, I don't think you should go back and try to find nice things that you like about them. I'm saying use that list of the things you say you hate about them and get real with yourself and see if there's maybe a little bit of jealousy or begrudging admiration under there. So for me, the shit that came up was like, they give zero fucks about anyone else. They're too loud. But then through digging through that list, I was like, they give zero fucks. I want to have less fucks in my life. They're loud. I could be more loud. I censor and silence myself a lot still. I'm still shy about playing my guitar. There's so many ways, even not like physically, verbally louder. There's so many ways where I want to be bolder or more expressive or something like that. So I'm a little bit in admiration or jealous of their loudness, right? They're celebrating a lot. Like these times that they're being so loud, they're having parties and shit. And I'm thinking, God, maybe I don't have enough celebration in my life. They have lots of friends and socializing. Am I missing that? Am I missing, I mean, we're in a quarantine here. We're in a stay-at-home order. Like perhaps I'm missing some of my connections or tight bonds, or just want to have more of that fellowship activity around me, right? Maybe I need more fun. Maybe what's pissing me off is they're back there having all this fun. And maybe I should see if there could be more fun in my life. I have a pretty fun life today, but maybe there could be more. There can always be more fun, right? And they seem really relaxed. I noticed that. And it used to fucking grind my gears so bad where I'm like, how can you be so chill about this? You're pissing me off so bad. But there's a part of me that's like, oh, I would really like to be way less uptight and more relaxed about this. So you can see where this can actually be a really fun, if you have a sense of humor about yourself, if you're willing to be honest, if you're willing to kind of set aside everything you think about them, you can let them show you some places where you might want to nourish yourself or add to your own life. And extra credit for y'all if you want it. I'll mail you a gold star or something. I don't know. Take that list of the things you discovered, like, oh, more fun, giving less fucks, being louder, being more expressive, being more chill. Take that list and come up with 1 or 2 actions that you can take this week to add that to your life. So one thing where I realized I was missing companionship and more socializing, I called up a girlfriend who I haven't talked to in forever and invited her to go on an appropriately socially distanced walk in the park. I know that sounds like super party wolf shit, but to me that's like super fun these days. So it's gonna be really early in the morning. It's springtime. I love it. So I took initiative to be like, all right, I need to add something here to my life, and it can just be a baby step too, but really take a look at that and see what you can add. So this is helpful for a couple of reasons. If you haven't figured out ways for yourself why it would be helpful, I just wanted to add to draw your attention to these 2 things. One is that it reinforces and helps you see what I'm talking about when I say that the things that seem insufferable, intolerable, these are happening for us, not to us. And the people that we seem to despise are actually our greatest teachers. And they have great gifts for us if we are willing to learn from them and take the invitation. And it usually takes some work. It takes some digging. It takes some investigating. So you can't just chant the mantra of like, this is happening for me, not to me. This is happening for me, not to me, like I've tried. Like you really got to kind of dig and see like, how is this for me? The other thing is that it gets you out of their business eventually. I mean, obviously you're kind of like going more into their business to figure this out, but it's for a good cause. And then it provides clues to where your own life needs more attention. And when you're busy living your best life and when you're giving yourself attention, you have way less time to worry about what other people are doing. And that's freedom. Trust me, try it. Okay, another angle to take with this exercise is to write down all your judgments again, or look at that same initial list. They're loud, they don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves, they are inconsiderate, rude, stupid, whatever. There's a couple ways you can play with this again, but basically the goal is to tap into some compassion here, or at least tolerance and patience, by seeing where you might be guilty of the very same behavior. Now, of course, I don't advocate anything like feeling guilty, really, or beating yourself up, but I do think it can help you to get some space and humor in the situation if you realize that you're actually doing the same thing sometimes. I don't think you should demean yourself or wallow in any kind of self-loathing. Definitely don't do that. But getting knocked off a high horse that you're kind of riding on can actually feel good and allow you to make peace with them and have more peace and serenity in your life. And this isn't about some saccharine, like, just be nice to your neighbors. You have to be nice to your neighbors. This isn't about that. I think ultimately, that is the place that we want to arrive at. It feels better there. But for now, I'm talking about like, how can you take care of yourself? And this is about managing your stress levels and finding your joy and your peace of mind. And I promise I'm not just like wagging a finger like, you should have more compassion for your neighbors. Like, fuck that. Especially when you're hurting or when you're stressed. I can't just jump there from where I'm at in my petty feeling like a victim mode, okay? So this is about being a healthy kind of selfish, and we're doing this work so that you can find your joy and serenity, okay? And really, frankly, when we find compassion and acceptance for others, that's kind of the paradox of where our joy can come from. Anyways, I'll talk more about that in other videos for sure. But so go back to the exercise. Say that you said they were inconsiderate, rude, etc. Now put yourself there. Put yourself in everywhere you said they are this, they are that. Say it about yourself. So I am inconsiderate. I am rude. I am stupid. Again, this isn't about like calling yourself names and beating yourself up. This is about finding ways that you have been this way in the past, maybe places in your life that you're still behaving this way. So for instance, where am I inconsiderate? Not just in this situation, but have I ever been inconsiderate in my whole entire life? No, surely not me. Yeah, I've been an inconsiderate shithead and way worse than what these kids are doing. So right there, like when I think about that, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I don't have to rag on them so much. Have I ever been rude? Have I ever done things that were stupid that I wish I hadn't done that way? Yes, and yes. And like I said, probably 10 times worse than they ever did. I'm kind of an expert at being a dumbass shithead, or I certainly was when I was drinking. So what this does is it kind of like breaks down the seriousness of it all, and you can get some laughter, and you can get some lightness, or at least some kind of like begrudging, like, harumph, okay, we're both kind of capable at least of doing these things. They're not the worst person in the world. I'm not the best person in the world, and I can be a little more understanding. And then I can practice allowing. So again, for extra credit, I get to allow the humans to be human, and I can lighten up a little bit. And that is it. Lighten up. Try it. Try it Tuesday. Lighten the fuck up. No, I hope everything is going really good for you. I know we're still in this stay-at-home thing, but I do feel a light at the end of the tunnel. So do these exercises. Take advantage of this time that we have. The best work you can do is on your own mind. It just will open up vast vistas of joy and peace, all the good things that you want. Try it and see. Thank you for being here. I will be back here Thursday with another video. Okay, bye. Thanks.